I want to welcome Bill Geiger in from Geiger Wealth Management, my old pal Bill. This is a guy that knows retirement, and there's more folks in talk radio listenership land that are either looking at it, can see it from here, or are there. And you got to know what to do with your money. So let me spend a few minutes here with Mr. Geiger and have him teach us and hopefully connect with you as well. Welcome, Bill.
Nice to be here again, sir.
Nice to see you. It's been a long time.
Yes, it has.
All right, you meet with folks in their late 50s, early 60s all the time. Are they ready? Are they not ready?
In general, they're not. They're not. And carrying on with the football metaphor, if you're a football fan, you certainly know what the red zone is, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what's the last thing you want to do in the red zone?
Score.
Last thing you want to do is not score.
Last thing you want to do is fumble.
Yeah.
Not
score, fumble,
you're that
turn
close
it over.
to the goal.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the same thing if you're preparing for retirement. If you're late 50s, early 60s, you don't have 30 years to make up a big loss. You're close enough now that you have to be really careful. You have to hold on to the ball.
But that's your specialty. Your specialty is you sit down with these folks and said, let's not worry about what you didn't do. Let's worry about what you have now and what we can make the most of, right?
Yeah. And you got to keep what you have.
Right.
And that's the big point here. You can't have any big losses. There's really three big things you have to do when you're getting ready. One, you make sure that you're not going to have any big losses.
Mm-hmm.
Number two is you got to start creating income that you're going to need to pay your bills when you retire.
Right.
It's crucial. And number three is you got to make sure that your portfolio is kind of insulated, if you will, to a degree, as much as humanly possible, against things coming out of left field for you in retirement.
That's one of the things you do. You look through and see what the investments are and see how safe or unsafe they might be.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's never too late to start. So a lot of times, when you're a kid out of college and you get your first job, like, okay, start your 401k now, and then you can start making this plan. Well, a lot of people don't do it. You lose jobs, this, that, the other, things go high and low. That's right. So when you're in your 50s and you're looking at 60s and you haven't done anything, when do you need to start?
Yesterday.
Yes, I know, but is it ever too late?
No, it's not. But what's really crucial is whatever you have done. And most people have gone the 401k route. Most people have a pretty decent amount in their 401k, some investments on the side. This is the time where you need to sit back and you need to start thinking about things from a different perspective. And that's where I talked about if you're in your 30s and your portfolio blows up, you have 30 years to make it back again.
Right.
If you're late 50s, early 60s, you don't. And a big blow up at this stage of your life could really, really change the way that you live the rest of your life. So it's crucial at this point, especially, the markets are crazy. We've got inflation that really doesn't seem to be getting under control. We got a new election coming up next year, a lot of uncertainty. And this is a great time to sit down, think about, do you have a roadmap? Do you have a plan to get you to the promised land, if you will?
A financial planner. I've always believed in having a certified financial planner.
Absolutely.
However, if you've never done it, this is the time that
Yes.
you need to do it. You talk about bringing in a pro.
You better be feeling it right now.
Yeah, and you better do it right now. Now, we don't know what's going to happen with the election. Obviously, it's going to affect things positively or negatively, depending on your life. And we don't know what it's going to do to the economy. But that step-by-step thing you were talking about, no big losses, an income flow to pay your bills and live your life, and also safety proofing to the best of your ability.
That's right.
The stuff you already have out there.
Yeah, and you want to make your plan as bulletproof as humanly possible. Now, nothing's perfect, but you need to work toward that direction. And of the three things I talked about, maybe the most important one is the income. Most of us throw money in a pile.
You got to have cash flow, right?
And we want to see how high we can make that pile by the time we retire. But when you retire, you have to start paying your bills with no income. Retirement's like 25, 30 years of unemployment.
Yeah.
And so where does that money come from? Well, if you're just taking it off the pile, and every month the pile gets smaller, that's not a great feeling.
No, you don't want it to be Jenga for your money. Take one and it all falls down. You are the preeminent Chicago retirement planning expert. You meet with folks all the time. And we'll give you a phone number and a website that they can come to Bill and figure this stuff out. But I assume the number one question, and you and I have known each other for a long time, you still get when you sit down is go, how much money do I need to retire?
Yeah.
It depends on your life, right?
It depends upon how much you're spending.
Mm-hmm.
It depends on how much you're spending. You can have a modest amount of money, and if you're really tight in terms of what you spend, that's fine. On the other hand, you can have just a ton of money. I sat down with a guy with $40 million. This is off the chart.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And he was worried about being able to afford to retire.
Didn't know if he got enough to get out.
He told me his wife spends $5 million a year.
Wow.
Well, that's a lot.
Yeah.
Maybe
we curb some spending there.
Seems like we could tighten that up a touch.
A little bit.
But basically, it comes down to how tall is your pile?
Mm-hmm.
What does it take you to live? And to take some of that pile and create the income that you need so that when you retire, you know how you're going to pay those bills.
Sure.
You've got income coming in each month. That's how you pay your bills every month. And it's kind of like a pension. The happiest people that ever come to my office have pensions.
Mm-hmm.
And there's fewer and fewer and fewer of those as time goes on.
Sure.
Yeah.
But you can create your own private pension, if you will. So you've got the income coming in each month to go with your bills. If when you reach that point, you're in nirvana because you know you can sleep at night. You can relax.
And by the way, one of the things I like about Bill Geiger, too, is you look at the whole world of financial possibilities for people. You don't go, okay, I've got this product and that product, pick one.
No. Everybody's an individual, but at the same time, we all kind of sort of have the same needs. We need the income. We need the protection. We need to make sure we don't blow up.
Live your life, pay your bills, and be as happy as you can be in the process.
And a roadmap is crucial to have, and somebody to help you do it. Can you achieve growth if you are being bulletproof or even not aggressive?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. And that's one of the keys. You want the growth side of your portfolio to be exposed to the market, but you also want protections in there. You want a safety net, if you will, to make sure that you don't have those big losses.
All right, so people should be getting a hold of you, and we're going to do a bunch of these, but for the sake of today, people want to get a hold of you, what do they do?
I know you're going to talk about this in a moment. 800-681-2498. We're going to sit down with the first 5 callers who call in. I'll sit down with them personally, and we're going to put together a full-blown retirement plan for them. It's a $3,000 value. We're going to do it complimentary for the first 5 callers.
Wow.
Give them the number again.
Great.
800?
800-681-2498.
All right. Again, first 5 callers. Income level that's important to come in?
No. You need to have a portfolio of at least $500,000.
Yeah. And
that's
most people.
Yeah. And that's
the place to start.
That's the place to start.
Yeah. And if you know that guy that's got $40 million, call him.
Yeah. Get a couple thousand.
I think I want to make sure he's still with his wife.
Yeah, I was going to say marry him and tell him you'll do it for 1. You don't need 5 a year.
Spend $5 million a year.
800-681-2498. First 5 callers. Nice to see you.